Welcome to today's Brand Origin Deep Dive. You've heard of the platform. It's woven into the fabric of online culture. But do you know how an overlooked technical artifact in its earliest footage might hint at the chaotic genesis hidden beneath its polished surface? We're not just looking at a website. We're excavating its digital history, uncovering the raw moments and technical stumbles that pave the way for a global phenomenon. If you find value in this kind of storytelling, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps more than you know. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from or what your first memory of this brand was. Let's dive in and discover how it all began. You walk into a locked archive room, the air thick with the smell of ozone and old paper. Dust motes dance in the single beam of light slanting from a high window. Rows of forgotten servers hum softly, survivors of a different era. On a steel shelf, half hidden behind a stack of yellowed technical manuals, you find a small, unlabeled hard drive. It's cold to the touch, a stark contrast to the humid heat radiating from the aging equipment. Plugging it into a jury-rigged terminal, you navigate through directories named with cryptic dates and early internal project names. There's a folder simply titled Beta Footage. You click it open. What plays is low-resolution, jerky video, raw, unedited moments from the very first days of a platform that would change the world. This is where the foundational vision of a space for anyone to share video first took hesitant form, born in a messy garage, fueled by naive optimism and countless energy drinks. The rudimentary interface looks almost hilariously primitive now, like a digital sketchpad compared to today's complex canvas. You witness the initial technical struggles firsthand through these rough uploads, the strain visible even in the blocky pixels. A major historical milestone flickers by. The first video, featuring elephants at a zoo, barely 20 seconds long, marking the shaky launch of user-generated content. Brand historians still debate whether launching with such a bare-bones minimum viable product was sheer brilliance or reckless abandon, but it certainly embodied the spirit of unfiltered user content. Within the pixels, a recurring unnatural artifact, a momentary digital tear or color inversion, catches your eye. It's not just compression, it feels intentional, a quirky, almost haunting detail. It hints at an inherent instability, an overlooked digital scar from its birth that foreshadows the platform's inherent unsustainability at scale, without massive resources and structure. You feel a pull, an eerie curiosity about the raw, untamed origins hidden beneath the familiar, polished surface. This archive, this glitch, is where the story begins, shifting from hopeful innovation to the first hints of overwhelming potential scale. As you follow that artifact deeper into the archives, you trace the platform's sudden, explosive growth. This isn't the steady climb anticipated, it's a wildfire. You witness the unexpected hits, a clumsy cat video here, a strange sketch comedy clip there, echoing across the internet, driving traffic the nascent infrastructure simply wasn't built for. The strain is immediate, almost comical, leading to cascading server crashes that become an almost daily occurrence. The platform transforms from a niche curiosity to a global phenomenon overnight, a tidal wave of diverse and often chaotic content flooding in. You feel the information overload personally, the visual noise of early user interfaces cluttered with low-quality embeds, the frantic energy of a company scrambling just to keep the lights on. There's an emotional shift from the initial excitement to feeling utterly overwhelmed and confused. The founders grapple publicly and privately. Was this intended to be a free-for-all, a digital equivalent of a chaotic public square, or something more curated, a broadcasting network for the masses? Brand historians still debate whether they should have imposed structure sooner. A quirky detail from this era reveals the chaos. One founder reportedly spent an entire afternoon debating the merits of a video showing someone eating cereal with chopsticks, genuinely unsure if it represented the future of content. The symbolic thread, the glitch, becomes increasingly prominent, not just in technical failures, but appearing within videos, seemingly amplified by the sheer volume and reflecting the underlying technical and identity instability. This period is a clear signal. The uncontrollable growth and burgeoning content issues desperately foreshadow the need for massive external funding and a fundamental rethinking of the platform's purpose. Building on what came before, you now shift your gaze away from the chaotic energy of the garage and turn towards the calculating hum emanating from Mountain View. Here, the air is sterile, the data flows predictably, and growth is mapped out on abstract diagrams. This is Google, and they are watching. Their early foray into video, aptly named Google Video, had been a notable failure. A clunky corporate attempt that never captured the public's imagination. This wasn't just a product launch. It was a major historical turning point, showing Google's initial misstep in a crucial emerging market. Inside glass-walled conference rooms, discussions turn increasingly towards the future of video. Leaked internal memos from the time, now a quirky detail brand historians pore over, reveal the corporate mindset. YouTube is referenced not as a cultural phenomenon, but purely in terms of market share, technical infrastructure, and potential user base. The sterile hum of massive server farms underpins this perspective. Video is simply data, needing efficient storage and delivery. The emotional shift within Google is palpable. An initial corporate disinterest in user-generated chaos evolving into a cold, strategic necessity for market dominance. You see their desire, not just to participate, but to own the space. Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind investing so heavily in what seemed, from Google's perspective, like an unruly wildfire. As they watch, the symbolic glitch you observed earlier is noted here too, but differently. Not a moment of emergent soul, but perhaps logged as an anomaly. A technical bug needing analysis, a data point deviation from expected flow. This foreshadows the impending clash of two vastly different philosophies. Google's structured order against YouTube's organic unpredictability, a collision course now set in motion. Building on what came before, the story now moves behind closed doors. You find yourself stepping into hushed, sterile boardrooms, the kind where the air feels thick with unspoken expectations. This is the moment of secret negotiations, the intense dance leading to the handshake. You witness the clash of worlds, the freewheeling vision of YouTube's founders meeting the structured, business-focused executives from Google. It wasn't just a price tag. It was a debate over soul versus scale. The brand core here is the negotiation process itself, the raw valuation talks, the back and forth over terms, and the internal debates within both companies. What is this platform truly worth? Can this vibrant, messy creation survive being integrated into a corporate giant? Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind certain concessions made on both sides. The sensory detail is palpable. The quiet click of briefcases, the low murmur of voices, discussing figures so large they feel abstract. The sheer weight of immense financial power about to change hands. The emotional shift is profound. For the YouTube team, it's a complex, often reluctant surrender of independence, trading freedom for resources. For Google, it's a quiet, strategic assertion of control, charting a course for future dominance. But even as the deal is sealed, foreshadowing hangs in the air. You sense the unseen strings attached, the inevitable integration challenges looming. Control would subtly shift, and not always smoothly. And perhaps buried deep within early integration documents, a curious anomaly is noted, a persistent glitch, an overlooked detail. It's the symbolic thread, a fleeting representation of the part of YouTube that didn't fit neatly into Google's structured world. A small digital ghost signaling that not everything could be acquired or controlled. This moment, the acquisition, is the major historical milestone, quiet in its execution, but seismic in its impact. Building on what came before, the platform now faces its most profound transformation, the algorithmic heart transplant. Under Google's ownership, you witness a complex integration process, less a gentle merger and more a full-scale rewrite of the platform's DNA. This isn't just adding features, it's implementing a new operating system. The technical merge sees YouTube's systems absorbed into Google's vast infrastructure, a massive undertaking likened by some engineers to performing surgery on a speeding train. The brand core solidifies as Google's core technologies and business models are woven in. AdSense brings robust monetization, fundamentally altering the creator landscape, while the nascent recommendation system, perhaps the single most impactful turning point, begins directing traffic, shaping what millions see. The abstract world of algorithms becomes the new reality. You feel the subtle shift in the platform's rhythm, code flowing, data points connecting, optimizing for engagement. Visually, the layout gradually evolves, favoring structure and discoverability guided by data. Audibly, the raw amateur audio of burly videos starts giving way to more polished soundscapes as creators professionalize. This integration spurs a major emotional shift. A slow institutionalization sets in, creating tension between the original community-driven ethos and Google's structured, data-optimized approach. There's a feeling of something being lost or suppressed, a wildness tamed. Brand historians still debate whether this era of algorithmic dominance stifled authentic creativity or simply channeled it into new forms. A quirky, early challenge was simply standardizing video formats and metadata across millions of uploads from wildly different sources, a Herculean data cleaning task. This period foreshadows the long-term cultural impact of algorithmic control on creativity and community, hinting at the platform's final form as a global media giant far removed from its humble beginnings. And that symbolic thread, the glitch, it's now almost entirely absent, smoothed over by sophisticated algorithms and standardized formatting. Yet, its occasional, fleeting reappearance offers a tiny hint that the original, raw essence hasn't been completely erased. You stand back from the terminal, the screen now blank. The hum of the old servers feels different, less like power, more like a lingering memory. You think about the journey, from pixelated garages to global dominance. YouTube, under Google's hand, became an undeniable force, a central nervous system for digital culture, shaping trends, politics, and economies. It paid off immensely by conventional metrics, but the ghost of its origins lingers. The raw, unpredictable energy of those early days, the unfiltered chaos where the glitch thrived. Has it been truly integrated or merely paved over? The original promise of a platform for anyone, uncensored and unbound, feels distant now, replaced by algorithms that curate, recommend, and implicitly control. Was the acquisition a rescue or a domestication? Was the payoff merely financial, or was there a cost to creativity, authenticity, or the very idea of a decentralized digital voice? The glitch, though unseen in the polished streams of today, feels present in the debates about moderation, control, and the invisible hand guiding what we watch. The archive is quiet again, but the questions echo. The story of YouTube and Google isn't over. It's just entered a new, perhaps more complex phase. You leave the room, the cold feel of the hard drive still on your fingertips, wondering what other digital ghosts lie hidden, waiting to be found. As the echoes fade, the sheer scale of this transformation settles over you. We've traced the pixels from a rough sketch to a global tapestry woven into the fabric of daily life. The key takeaway feels like a fundamental shift, the evolution from a quirky platform of possibility into an essential utility of the digital age, governed by immense infrastructure and complex algorithms. The brand's legacy isn't just financial success. It's the creation of an entirely new ecosystem for media, learning, and connection, for better or worse. Its symbolism has shifted too, from rebellious upstart to corporate titan, a mirror reflecting both the boundless creativity of humanity and the centralizing forces of modern technology. What lessons can we draw? Perhaps that rapid growth often comes with difficult compromises, that the pursuit of scale can overshadow original intent, and that the soul of a platform, like a ghost, might persist in unexpected corners. And maybe, just maybe, the soul of a brand is never in its product, but in the people, stories, and stumbles that shape it.